I'm Don Mitchell. Welcome back to Business Basics. Today we continue speaking about ways to reduce investment intensity for your organization as well as for all those stakeholders, those affected by your organization. Our topic today is from Lesson 48 and is entitled Choose More Attractive Ways to Extract Cash from the Balance Sheet. As always, let me begin by quoting from the Bible, in this case, the book of John, chapter 15, verses 1 through 5 in the New King James Version. I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine dresser. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away. And every branch that bears fruit, he prunes, that it may bear more fruit. You are already clean because of the word that I have spoken to you. Abide in me, and I in you. As a branch cannot bear fruit of itself, unless it abides in the vine, neither can you, unless you abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. He who abides in me, and I in him, bears much fruit. For without me, you can do nothing. As described in Lesson 47, when you increase an organization's revenues by 20 times, reduce per unit cost of an offering by 96%, and also eliminate 96% of all investments per offering, you create an organization that has a very high profit margin, large profits, little need to invest, and a lot of cash. Such a cash buildup can have negative consequences, such as by misapplying the cash. To understand the best choices for cash use and how they compare to one another, organization needs a detailed appreciation for the cost, price, and demand effects on its stakeholders when various actions are taken. Because the potential value of doing the right thing with the cash, one of the highest potential uses for excess cash is to develop accurate models for estimating cost, price, and demand effects on stakeholders. With the insights that such models provide, the organization can improve and grow much more rapidly by relieving constraints on growth within its value chain. Here's an analogy for what I'm describing about freeing up the value chain. If a minor automobile accident spills broken glass across all the lanes of traffic in a given direction, drivers slow down when they near the accident to avoid glass shards and to gawk at the accident. Once past the accident, most motorists quickly speed up again. Until reaching the accident, traffic slows to whatever speed drivers select when in the accident's vicinity. If the traffic is backed up for 10 miles, drivers can spend a half hour to an hour in the traffic jam, unless they exit the congested road and take some other route that isn't as congested. If instead, tow trucks quickly remove the vehicles while someone else takes away any hint of broken glass, the traffic jam's length will be shorter because the average speed will be much higher while traveling through the bottleneck. While I cannot diagnose what you should do with your cash without examining specific stakeholder effects, may help narrow down the choices by describing some potential uses for excess cash that can eliminate common bottlenecks that slow down profitable growth. Before going on, let me introduce you to a business concept that may be new to you: generating more growth, profit, and cash flow by avoiding a cash buildup. I call this condition the cash equilibrium state. For such a condition is best described by applying excess cash to the most constrained parts of the value chain, in addition to removing excess cash on hand by making helpful acquisitions, paying cash dividends when doing so substantially increases shareholder value, and making share purchases when long-term shareholders favor such an action. Here's a hypothetical example to show how valuable it can be to apply excess cash productively to the value chain. Imagine a business has sales of $100,000 in the current year, pre-tax profits are $96,000, cash flow after taxes is $62,000, and the balance sheet has $125,000 in excess cash on it, and revenues have been expanding at 100% a year. Obviously, this is a very attractive business to be in, and just the sort of business this book strives to help you to create and to sustain. Let's assume the hypothetical business is constrained by some customer-related circumstance that would be eliminated or improved by using $125,000 in excess cash. While it doesn't matter what this circumstance is, for purposes of this illustration, let's assume the customers need a redesigned offering that will be much more valuable to them. When the $125,000 is properly spent, the business grows revenues now at 400% for the next year. After this spending has just been completed, in the first year, pre-tax profits become $480,000 instead of $192,000. Cash flow after tax grows to $310,000 instead of $124,000. and business generates an additional $61,000 in cash beyond what it would have had without making the $125,000 investment. That's a pretty dramatic example, and your business may not have short-term choices that are nearly as attractive. I'm sure you'll agree that you would be happy to apply any excess cash on the balance sheet whenever your business could generate a great deal more profit, cash flow, value, and excess cash in a reasonable amount of time. With such a purpose in mind, let's look at some opportunities to measure and consider possible uses for your organization's excess cash. So for customers, they might be looking for a lower price to pay for the offerings, a lower price to pay for related offerings, more features, lower price features, more valuable features, more availability, and the offering being easier to use, less expensive to use, and having longer payment terms. Now for customers, we have the same sorts of things, except that they would be relative to the customer and acquiring the offerings from that customer. For suppliers, they would like higher price for their offerings, lower cost of inputs for their offerings, more features, fewer features, in some cases where that would simplify and make it more valuable, higher price features, lower cost features, more valuable features, more availability, easier to use, less expensive to use, redesigned to add functionality, lower cost, and also longer payment terms. If we look at suppliers, they want the same things, looking backwards. Distributors, if any, they want a lower price for the offering they distribute, lower price for related offerings, more features, lower price features, more valuable features, more availability, easier to use, less expensive to use, longer payment terms. Partners, if any, are looking for a lower price for the offering that they add value to, a lower price of related offerings, more features, lower price features, more valuable features, more availability, greater ease of use, and less expensive to use. Employees would like to have redesigned to make the work safer, easier, and more pleasant. More desirable career opportunities, reduced working hours, added employee benefits, increased education, training, or tools, greater recognition, more compensation. The communities you serve might be looking for more jobs, better paying jobs, help with local business development, and solving severe local problems unrelated to the business's impacts on the community. What's the key point of extracting cash from the balance sheet in more attractive ways? Redesign your company's business models, ownership of facilities, use of facilities, methods of operating, breadth of product line, and offerings to reduce investments by 96% for you and your stakeholders. Then use the excess cash that's generated to create the most benefits for all stakeholders by considering improvements to the most constrained parts of the value chain. We have 3 assignments here. First is to identify the 5 most significant ways you can use excess cash to provide more benefits that customers and suppliers and other stakeholders want. Second is to consider how such changes would affect your other stakeholders. 3, investigate how your company's business models, ownership of facilities, use of facilities, methods of operating, breadth of product line, and offerings can be shifted over time to be even more effective by making it easier for stakeholders and your company to identify and to implement better ways to operate with very little investment as a result of applying your excess cash. So I hope this lesson has been a great blessing to you. And I hope you'll be back soon to hear about the last few lessons of business basics. In the meantime, may God bless you, your family, and all you do. In the name of Jesus. Goodbye for now.